When an egg is put in vinegar, an acid-base chemical reaction occurs between the acetic acid in the vinegar and the calcium carbonate in the eggshell. The reaction produces calcium acetate, water, and carbon dioxide gas, which appears as bubbles on the shells. As the reaction continues, the eggshells completely dissolve, leaving behind a soft inner membrane and making the egg feel rubbery and translucent. So for my experiment, I decided to test 3 different types of eggs. So I decided to do chicken eggs, quail eggs, and duck eggs. And as you can see in the videos, this is just me going outside to my chicken coop and collecting some. First, I put the chicken egg in its container and then I added vinegar to it. And immediately, as you can see from the video, you can start seeing bubbles occur around the eggshell. So next I put the quail egg in a container and then I put vinegar on top of it, and it didn't really bubble up as much as the chicken egg did, which I thought was interesting. So next I put the egg in its container and then I poured vinegar over it, and as you can see, the calcium carbonate immediately reacted with the acid from the vinegar. So I decided to wait a couple of hours, and then around 11 p.m. that night I looked up all the eggs, and the chicken egg appeared to be foamy in this container and it looked a lot more rubbery. The quail egg was, the container was brown and foamy because the speckling from the egg shell had actually fallen off and just was in the vinegar. And then the duck egg had a lot of foam, and yeah, it looked puffy and a little bit swollen. After 24 hours in the vinegar, I took the chicken egg out of its container and then I washed it off in the sink just to get the remaining calcium carbonate off of it. And the texture was very smooth and rubbery. I attempted to bounce the egg, but unfortunately I dropped it from too high and it broke. So after 24 hours in the vinegar, the quail egg's brown shell pattern had mostly fallen off of the egg, and it was just basically floating around its container, and even most of it was completely dissolved, which I thought was interesting. And then after removing the egg and looking at it, it had similar texture to the chicken egg, but unlike the chicken egg, I was able to get it to bounce, which was fun. So after 24 hours in the vinegar, the duck egg shell had completely dissolved, and there were still bubbles around it, but it didn't appear swollen or foamy like it did the previous night. And after removing the egg and washing it, there were still thin patches of calcium carbonate on the egg, but despite this, it was still very bouncy. So I decided to feed the remaining eggs back to my chickens, which is totally safe, don't worry, I looked it up, along with some watermelon rinds, so enjoy that footage while I yap about the ending of my experiment. So overall, I feel like this experiment was successful as I was able to decalcify all the eggs. It was really interesting to see how the vinegar broke them all down and just turned them into rubbery eggs, which was really fun to bounce and to play with, and I would definitely do this experiment again. It just gave me a better understanding about chemical reactions and acid reactions and helped me understand chemistry a little bit better. And P.S. I do have a ton of eggs right now. I have chicken eggs, I have duck eggs, and I have quail eggs, and I just have way too many. So if anyone wants to buy any from me, just let me know. All the money that I get from egg sales just goes back into feeding the chickens, the ducks, and the quails because they are expensive to feed. And other than that, thank you for watching the video.